Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast, and I am your host, Samuel. In this podcast, I interview top medical sales reps and leading medical sales executives across the entire country. And it doesn't matter what medical sales industry, from medical device to pharmaceutical to genetic testing to diagnostic lab, you name it. You will learn how to either break into the industry, be a top 5% performer within your role in sales, or climb the corporate ladder. Welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Medical Sales Podcast. Today we are with Justin Rhodes, part 2. And in this interview, this second half of the interview, he really gets into how Ptch came to be. He continues his role up until when he stopped in medical device sales and transitioned into founding Ptch, and what Ptch is really about and what they're doing, and their wonderful motto, valuing people over paper. And he gets into that and explains that as well. This is a great episode, whether you're someone trying to get into the industry, whether you're someone that's in the industry or you're leading the industry. This is something you want to listen to because Ptch is a software that's available for all of the above. Everyone that I've just mentioned can find value here, especially the companies that are trying to find the best candidates. But I'm not going to say any more. I'm going to save it for the interview. So once again, thank you for listening to the Medical Sales Podcast, and I really do hope you enjoy the rest of this interview.
Great relationships. So I was able to, come right back in and fit right back in a different division, which was sports medicine, and the biologics division with Smith & Nephew. So.
Got it. Now, I'm going to ask, because people out there want to know that that are trying to get in. Give us a little bit about how sports medicine is different than what you were experiencing in trauma.
Yeah, sports medicine is definitely still a value add, and you've got to know the latest terms. You got to know the latest procedures, the latest ways of doing things, and I think that it's more of a 7 to 5 or 7 to 6 type position, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. type position, or, it's more scheduled. Whereas trauma, you obviously don't know if somebody's going to be in a car accident or have a fall, or, icy weather and somebody falls and hurts their wrist or breaks their hip or whatever it may be. Right. Whereas sports med, this stuff is all pretty much planned out. So you have some busy sports med surgeons that are scheduling, and we work in the shoulder space and upper extremity space. So, shoulder surgeons have, their surgery days of Tuesday and Thursday, and you have 10 surgeries scheduled on each of those days. And that you're going to be here from this time to this time. And you may get all the cases, you may get 1 or 2, but that on these certain days, you're going to be with these particular surgeons. And so it's a lot different in knowing that your life is a little bit more scheduled and a little bit less hectic and unexpected. So that's conducive. That's conducive too if you have a wife and a couple of kids, So
right.
She wants to know when you're gonna be home.
And I see that you took a field sales training role in that space. Talk to us a little bit about what that experience was for you, and then transitioning that into starting Ptch.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I talked about how Rotation Medical, we thought about, this was kind of the genesis for Ptch as well, but as a field sales trainer with Smith & Nephew, we were, came over from the biologics division. We were the subject matter experts of this particular product. And, right. We were in charge of, helping grow this within our sports medicine counterparts and helping them and going to appointments and closing sales and, being brought in for dinners and things like that. And, we obviously continue to grow that. And I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. What was the question again? You want to cut that off? Sorry.
Yeah. So I was saying, sorry, dude. You got into a fields training role. Yeah. For That's right. Smith & Nephew. Yeah. So when you went from Smith & Nephew, the fields training role, what inspired you to leave that role to go start Ptch?
Perfect. Yeah. So when I left the field sales training role, I started this field sales training role because it gave me an opportunity to help grow this even more and train these new biologics people that came in. And actually, when we were with the field sales training role, we would actually do something called the scrub sync pitch. And if anybody knows has been a medical device, you have about 30 seconds to a minute while a surgeon is scrubbing in, while you have their undivided attention to maybe talk about the game or talk about, the next procedure or the next case, or, do a value add from that standpoint, or you could talk about your latest and greatest product and how that may be an opportunity to help you, help them or help their patient in the next procedure or another procedure that you saw on the board or whatever. So that that's what we did. And then it was really popular from a training standpoint, and a lot of people really liked how it went. And so we continued to grow that. And we actually did, when COVID hit, we actually trained about 600 reps over the course of 3 days online, and doing, various things, whether it be scrubbing pitches or just different material that we were looking at doing. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So you did a big training, and you were able to really get into the whole, I guess, explore the passion of these pitches through the scrub pitch practice with these actual reps.
Yeah, we definitely did. And so, we were obviously doing that, and we saw how much of a value add it was, not only on the training aspect, but we also, like I mentioned earlier, we thought that it would be very beneficial on the hiring side as well. So there's, it's multifaceted from a training or a hiring standpoint. And so again, that, we were already kind of started the company, but this only validated what we had already come to believe, that this is a very value added procedure, and a value added training type tool that people could use to help drive clear, concise messages in a short period of time. So, and that's essentially where, right around the same time Ptch was created, a little bit before that, but again, that validated. So.
And did you create it with people in Smith and Nephew, or did you have people outside of Smith and Nephew? I mean, I'm sure people want to know. You're saying that it kind of started with the rotation company. It started back then. But it started how? I mean, were you talking about it with some friends, saying, you know what, we should put together, and then it kind of just grew from there, or how did it go?
Yeah, sure. No, I mean, we were talking. I had, the co-founders are work with, Smith and Nephew, and they were with me at Rotation Medical. So we saw this need, and we'd always talked about different business ideas and things like that. But, I think the cool thing with Rotation Medical was that there was a problem in the marketplace, and a solution was made to solve that problem. A lot of times you see that products are created, and then you try to, you make the hammer and then go try to find a nail to take care of it, right? And fix that. But the great thing about Rotation Medical was that, problem existed, and a hammer was created to fix it. And then the same thing with Ptch, is that there's a problem that exists that, you're spending a lot of time on the front end of doing the phone screens, doing the resume reviews, and you don't know what this person is like. You don't know how much passion, creativity, enthusiasm they have. And so why can't we gather more information on the front end to make a better and more informed decision? So, and that's why, we talked about all this, and we was like, gosh, do we really, is this really going to be our, what we think is going to be our business? And, we, like I said, we'd already come up with a bunch of different ideas, and this was like, this is awesome. And we really got behind it. We did the feasibility study. And I tell you what really drove it home for us is, after we did the markets research, the feasibility study, and we got some outside experts to kind of say, hey, this is a pretty awesome idea. We talked to some developers, and we talked to a Google developer, and that Google developer said, I definitely want to help you guys out. I will do it for almost free, because I think this is why I'm going to leave Google. And I said, what? Are you serious? Do you think it's that good of an idea? He's like, yes, I think this is an amazing idea. And so, that person has helped, while they're still at Google, they've been helping on the side and doing things at night and developing things for us. And so it's led us to where we are. We have a long ways to go, but we've come a long way in a short amount of time. So
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So when did you actually officially leave the field sales training and say, you know what, I'm taking a step, man. I'm entrepreneur now. It's right. The corporate life is over.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, it's scary, right? I mean, we talked about it for months, I've been, I've planned well and been successful from that standpoint. And we had talked about within the business that somebody needs to go full time and be able to run this beast, a full-time capacity, and I volunteered for it because, not only was I part of the genesis and this coming from my brain and helping to create this, and, while we work together to grow this thing, it's just, I felt like you have to be fair to not only Ptch, but also to your medical device company as well. When something gets to a point where, you're getting ready to spend a little more time on something, you got to be fair to both parties. And so August 9th was my first day of this year, August 9th. So just about 4 weeks ago is when I went full time. And it's tough because, right. I mean, you've done it. It's tough because, I had to, myself and my partner, we had the number one territory in the country. And, I could have stayed on and continued to grow it and, maybe had an opportunity at President's Club and all that other stuff. But, you think about, you don't want to be 75 years old sitting on your front porch and wondering what if.
What if? Yeah,
exactly.
It's real,
and that's, exactly. And so that's why, I think that just like with anything, solving problems, whether it be with Smith & Nephew or Rotation Medical, is something that I'm passionate about. And I think this is a problem that exists, and we can help a lot of companies save time and also uncover unconventional talent that they never would have given a chance to. And again, on the other side of things, with candidates, it helps them have an opportunity when they wouldn't, because their resume is just, whether it's different industry or different background or, whatever it may be. So, so this is a problem I think is a great one to solve. And we're working really hard to help do it. So.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
So you talked about having 2 little ones and a wife.
Yeah.
When you were a trauma rep, were you working on that family? And, we want to hear how you were able to manage it all in light of having a family that you're committed to.
Yeah, no, it's, so there, my wife was my girlfriend at the time, and, we have to take different cars to dinner, different nights, if we were going to dinner or going out to lunch or whatever it may be, because, there were times where I would get phone calls to say, oh, we've got a femur fracture in the OR. We're going to do an intramedullary nail here in about an hour. Can you make it down? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'll be down there right away. And you have to leave dinner and head down there. So again, it's a give and take, right? If you're, it's hard to, home life balance or whatever. It's hard to manage that. But again, it's something you have to be passionate about. And if you're passionate about helping people and getting in the OR and being a value add, it's something that you'll never forget and never want to leave. Again, having 2 little ones is when it started being harder for my wife and for us. So making the jump to a different company that was a little more scheduled with different procedures in the OR, it ended up being better for myself. Now, I will say that I do have colleagues that actually the colleagues that helped hire me, they've stayed on and they, as they grew, they helped bring on new pod members, and then you can develop a call schedule, which is great, so you're able to rotate and have different people on call for different days of the week or different weekends and things like that. So that's another thing too. But early on, as an associate or somebody that's breaking into the trauma world, you're going to be asked to do a lot. You're going to be asked to carry a lot of trays, and you're going to be asked to do things a lot of people don't want to do. And if you're able to overcome that and be a great team member, the sky's the limit. And the long-term play, again, showing your reputation and showing how valuable you are to not only to your surgeons, but to your teammates, is going to go a long way in that city that you live in or within that division that you are working in within that particular company. So.
Got it. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. So then, you're an entrepreneur now. One thing that I like to ask is, how do you manage your day? And even if you weren't, being a medical sales rep, being a medical sales executive, being an entrepreneur, it all requires you to be able to manage your day well. And it also requires that you probably partake in some kind of routine or something that you do to keep you grounded so you can perform at your best each and every day. Walk us through your daily routine, if you have one. Walk us through when do you wake up in the morning, and then what do you take on? What do you do? How do you set it all up to be successful?
Right. No, if I don't wake up at 6 o'clock or 6:30, and one of my kids will run in the bedroom and wake me up. So sometimes they plan out my day for me and get me going. But no, I mean, obviously with the medical device, I had a little bit more scheduled type day. But now, I mean, essentially it's all about networking and just reaching out to different people. And I think, again, to that point, being a good person and helping other people out, in your past and every single day, in turn, not that I did it for this, but in turn helps you out down the road, because it's amazing and it's really cool. And I think you probably see it with your business and Evolve Your Success in the medical device world. I think that, people want to help others that are genuine and that have helped them in the past. And, people that asked, that didn't ask for anything in the past. And it's been really cool to see how people have wanted to do demos and see demos and talk with me on the phone and network. And what's really cool is that, a couple of these demos and appointments I've gotten were just favors from other people that say, hey, will you talk to this guy, see what it's all about?
Right.
And I get in the demo, they're like, hey, I'm just doing this as a favor. And then by the end of the demo with our product, they're like, you know what? You actually have something here. And I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Kind of you to say. And those have progressed on to sales, which is amazing. So, but I think, now again, like my day is unexpected. It's a little bit different. I'm not in the OR, but I'm trying to network and talk to as many people as I can, still help as many people as I can and learn about their business. And that's where we got connected and learning about Evolve Your Success. And I love your platform, and I love how you're helping early career or anybody with it trying to break into the medical device world, no matter what their background is, whether you come from, B2B sales or whether you come from pharma or wherever you may come from. That's what I love about what you're doing. And as far as the training and the aspects that you guys bring to the table and helping prepare people to get into this world. Because I've looked at your stuff and I really like it. And I think that's what it's all about. You're helping people. We're trying to help people. And I know I've said it a lot, but that's what helps people. That's what, that's what makes the world go round. Right. I mean, and so I think that's just really beneficial to everybody, and we're all in this together. And if you have something that you can, and you've been successful in certain areas, and then you can lend your credibility and lend your advice to people, I think that goes a long way. And people have done it for me over my course of my career, and I've learned a lot from a lot of other people. And now I think you and I are in an opportunity in our space that we can actually give back a little bit and help other people as well. So
I love it, Justin. You mentioned something that I want to ask about, actually. So you're right. In our business, we help people from any profession get into medical device, pharmaceutical, and healthcare sales related field. With Ptch, is it for specifically the medical sales environment when it comes to, pharma, medical device companies, or only medical device, or B2B, or it doesn't matter what company is using it? Any company can use it. How does it work with Ptch?
Yeah, no, any company can use it, first and foremost. Yeah, it's open for any company. And we see this as being a cut for customer interacting roles, customer facing roles in sales, customer service, whatever it may be. Maybe it'd be retail associates or however else. But, we come from the medical device world. We come from the healthcare world. And so we have those experiences to be able to kind of relate to when we talk to other people. And so we started out as being a, healthcare first. And, with any startup, you want to have a laser focus of what you're doing so you don't get distracted and lose mind share on that. But, what we've seen is that we have technology companies, we have SaaS companies in the technology world using us as well. So, any customer interacting or any type of sales role is where we fit in. So
I love it. This was excellent. Justin, thank you so much for being with us here today. We've learned so much about you and how you came up through the ranks to do what you're doing today, and so much about Ptch and the amazing services it provides. One thing I love to leave with is something that you really believe in, that you want the audience to just walk away with. Like I said, we got people in the industry that want to get in, listening to this podcast. We got people that are in the industry and executives that are leading the industry. What would you want to share with everybody listening before we wrap up today?
Yeah, from a business perspective, I think we want to make sure that we humanize the hiring process and value people over paper. That leads into my personal belief that it's all about people. And you hear about different companies that had been hiring for certain roles and whatever else. But if we look forward more towards the future, most companies are saying that they think that soft skills and people, the way they interact with other people, are going to be what they're hiring for in the future. So sales related roles and things like that, customer facing roles. So again, it's all about people and how you help them and the reputation that you build and how you want to be left with and how you want to be thought of. Do people talking about you in the OR behind your back in a good way? Are they looking out for you in a positive way? Do you leave them feeling good when you talk with them? Are you positive? Do you smile? And I think that's what it's all about. And again, if I, can kind of bring that down and bring it down to the end here is just, it's all about people and how you treat people and valuing people over anything else. So.
Love it. Couldn't agree more. Well, Justin, thank you for being here today. And we look forward to hearing more from you and all the success Ptch is going to have. And thank you again.
Thanks so much, Samuel. Appreciate it.
All right. And that was Justin Rhodes. Fascinating story, right? I mean, to go from medical device sales, sports medicine, field trainer, and then transition into founding a company that's really revolutionizing the way clients interact with potential candidates. That's a beautiful thing to see. And it comes from a great place, right? Helping companies really find all those valuable people that get to show their personality, get to show all the different sides of them that, of course, you just can't see from a piece of paper. So again, thank you for listening to the Medical Sales Podcast. And if you're someone out there, maybe you're a decision maker in one of these organizations and you're saying, you know what, we want to find a better way to get better talent, then you need to make sure you reach out to Justin Rhodes at Ptch. The link is on the episode, so you can find it there and get access. And he's also on LinkedIn, so make sure you check out Justin Rhodes and get in touch with him and let him provide this incredibly valuable service to your organization. And if you're someone out there that's looking to get into the industry, maybe you heard this episode, you listened to part 1 and now part 2, and you're thinking to yourself, I really want to make a move. I really want to be in this industry, whether it's medical device, pharmaceutical sales, or any healthcare sales related industry, then you need to make sure you visit evolveyoursuccess.com. Go to the homepage and select Attain a Medical Sales Role. You'll be allowed to fill out our application. It's going to get into with us here at Evolve Your Success, and you're going to be able to schedule a call and really have a conversation about how our program, the Medical Sales Career Builder, can really be a game changer for you in your career. And it doesn't matter what profession you come from. If you want to get into medical device sales, there's an opportunity. You just need to start taking the right steps to make it happen. If you're someone out there that's in medical sales, you're in healthcare sales, and you're saying, you know what? I want to have a breakthrough year. You really want to change the game. You're trying to do things a little differently. Again, go to evolveyoursuccess.com and select Improve Sales Performance, and let's have a conversation. Especially if you're someone that maybe you're experiencing some success and you're trying to create some new avenues. And you've seen people doing things on social media. You've seen some branding going on, but you're not quite clear on what step you should take next. Get in touch with us. Visit evolveyoursuccess.com, select Improve Sales Performance, click on our LinkedIn option, and it's going to allow you to schedule a call with us and really talk about how we can change the game for you in your career. As always, we do our best to bring you guests that are really doing innovative things within the industry. They're making moves, they're changing lives, they're valuing people over paper like Justin Rhodes, and we do it every single week. So make sure you tune in next week for another episode of the Medical Sales Podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And remember, I have a couple programs that show you exactly how to break into the medical sales industry, become a top-performing medical sales professional, and also how to masterfully navigate your career to executive level leadership. Check out these programs and learn more at evolveyoursuccess.com. Stay tuned for more awesome content with amazing interviews.